I just finished my freshman year at Rutgers, New Brunswick, so here are some things that I wish I would have known before my freshman year at college. At the end of my first semester, I made a part 1 to this, but I was on the verge of like a fever or something, so I like look and sound miserable in the entire video, but you can scroll down and find the first one. I'm going to try and answer different questions this time though. To start, I know one of the biggest things to talk about at Rutgers are the buses. I will say the first video I like really hated on them and I was like, it's horrible, but I just think like the more experience I had with it, like I kind of knew like the vibe. It still does get packed at times, but it gets better, I think. My freshman year, a lot of the classes I took were like gen ed, kind of like part of my core for SAS to get them out of the way, which were kind of annoying at times because my classes would sometimes be just like the most random things ever. But I will say it's helpful because now I get to really focus on my major and getting those requirements too. Me personally, I'm like not a math person at all, and I was like trying to find any way to like get out of actually doing math. So I have a class recommendation. It's called Finance for Personal and Professional Success. I took it with Professor Westcott and she was just the sweetest ever. The class was so easy, so fun. Loved it. Definitely recommend that if you're not a math person and you're trying to get that requirement out of the way. I'll say this is something I honestly did not do when registering for my classes. I was just kind of like, well, hope I got the good professor. So far so good. I haven't had any like bad experiences. You should check Rate My Professor at some point or another just to know, you know, what you're getting yourself into. But I will say don't rely on it too heavy because some students are just like crash outs and they're just mad. I'll say my freshman year felt like it went really quickly, especially my second semester. So just make the most of your time while you're there, and I try to keep the mindset of like say yes to everything and get involved in everything you possibly can. I also decided on a different major than my first semester. My second semester, try and keep an open mind and try everything, explore your likes, your dislikes, and just don't be scared to change your mind, because I think I was really scared at first and I was like, wait, this was not the plan. I think it ended up better than what I had originally planned in my head. I am a commuter student, so I live like 10 minutes away from campus, so my commute isn't like that crazy, but I will say that parking does kind of suck. I talked about this a little bit on my first video, but parking passes are pretty pricey. Even if you do have a pass, you can't just drive everywhere, so the buses are not super avoidable unless you're like really slick with it. I don't know, during the day or at least before 6 p.m. you can't just like park anywhere. After 6 p.m. you can park in almost everywhere, but I will say just check like the dots page just to make sure. Be careful with tickets, because as far as I understand, because I read the email and I'm like, I think this is what it means, the ticket pricing went up from 30 to 50. And 30 I was like, all right, you know, like it won't kill me, but 50, that would hurt. As for like internships and like connections and all that, Rutgers is a really big school, so I think it's easy to make connections. And again, if you just put yourself out there and just talk to people, there are a lot of opportunities that you could take up if you just try and get your foot in into whatever field you're going into. They're just some of the ones that I had written down, but if you guys have any other questions, I can make a part 3, or I can make a separate one about being a commuter, because I feel like a lot of people have questions about that if you like live in the area.